Other Bukidnon's vocal music. First, Limbay, an improvised song about the personal feelings of the singer, usually reflecting the present situation or experiences of the past. Second, Sala, usually low-pitched melodies are sung in a relaxed manner, giving it a more serious nature compared to the Limbay. Used for courtship songs to be sung alternately by a man and a woman. Its subtypes are the Sala Hatanud, observing Sala song about happenings in the past, the Kagmayugan from Mayugan, difficult, which refers to suicide and a melody of which is believed to attract death, and the Panghulu-hulu, which is similar in content to the Limbay subtype Hulu-hulu. Third, Idangdang, a kind of ballad relating to the story of some past event. Among the Banwaon, the term is used for song debates performed alternately by different singers. It sometimes also refers to special limbay, in which the word Idangdang is repeated for merely poetic reasons. Music of Camiguin. Most artists are music-minded, so Enigmata provides them this traditional kulintang, an instrument usually associated with the ifugao, which makes a very distinct sound that reminds the listener of far-off mountains and fog-laden valleys. There are also percussion instruments such as these bongos, which are adorned with traditional and native materials. Pot gongs hang around the library, each producing a distinct sonorous sound when struck. Such musical instruments awaken the Filipinos' incredible talent and passion for beautiful, meaningful, and distinct music. Music of Lanao del Norte. Kalilang music, played through indigenous musical instruments like the kulintang, the baken, and gong. Kulintang is a modern term for an ancient instrumental form of music composed on a row of small, horizontally laid gongs that function melodically, accompanied by larger suspended gongs and drums. Visamis Oriental's music, Higaunon. A Higaunon tribal tradition that those who participate in an opening prayer ritual must put a memento as attendance in order for the spirits acknowledge your presence. In modern times, it is now symbolized with a 1 peso coin. The opening ritual is part of the Higaonon tribe's welcome to the officials and guests of Misamis Oriental Provincial Government as they visited the hinterland community in Pulang Yuta, Barangay Apuscahoy, in Claveria. Lumad, a Visayan word for native or indigenous, refers to non-Christian and non-Muslim indigenous groups in Mindanao. In general, Lumad music encompasses a wide repertoire of sounds performed for various occasions and makes use of an extensive array of musical instruments, including the agong, the most widely used distributed brass instruments among the Mindanao Luban. The biggest group of Lumad is the Subanon, Subanun of Zamboanga del Norte and Zamboanga del Sur. Their vocal music is characterized by chants and different types of songs such as Dayonli, love song, Buwa, lullaby, and Giloy, a funeral song, among others. Their musical instruments include the gagong, kulintang, and durugan.
Manobo tribal dress. The present Manobo dresses, like any other rustic Kantilangnon, the old Manobos were colorfully dressed during the years when they learned to weave cotton fabrics or when they bought these from the traders. They prepared the fabrics with stripes of red or black or anything having a maze of colors. Saluray Manobo instrument. The saluray or bamboo sitar, a music instrument that has 8 strings which produce sounds used in dancing during festivities. Tugaya, the artisan's heartland. When it comes to Maranao arts and crafts, Tugaya is the ground zero of it all. It is thought that there's an artisan in every home in this lakeside community. And walking around town, it isn't truly hard to spot someone working on a piece. Tugaya is famous for many crafty things: chests, drums, gongs, and tape stars. They worked with various materials to like wood, brass, bamboo, plastic beads, and abaca fiber. The truth is, most of what's sold in many markets around the country are from this small town of artisans. Baur, or wooden chests, are among the best pieces produced here. Unlike other chests, the Maranao Baur is hand-carved with intricate ochre motifs and inlaid with tipay or polished shells. Also, Tugayanans are the best known makers of metal crafts. The gadur are brass jars, tabak are brass serving trays, and the kampilan or swords are among their masterpieces. However, Tugaya still looms as a nominated site in the UNESCO Intangible Cultural Heritage List. Well, we know it's a long process. It's laking way too long till it's forgotten.
Macapagal Macaraeg Heritage House in Lanao del Norte. The Macapagal Macaraeg Ancestral House has been declared a heritage house by the National Historical Institute last August 14, 2002. It is considered as the first house in the Philippines where two of the country's presidents lived. Diosdado Macapagal, the ninth president of the Philippines, and his daughter, Gloria Macapagal Arroyo, the 14th president of the Philippines. The house was constructed in 1950 and is made of wood and concrete cement. Since it was donated by former President Gloria Macapagal Arroyo, the city government of Iligan has exerted its best efforts for the maintenance of the house. The Macapagal Macaraeg Ancestral House is the most popular historical landmark in the city of Iligan. The house boasts of its rich history and grand style. It contains several precious items and memorabilia of the Macapagal and Arroyo families. Different pictures of the Macapagal Arroyo family are found here. The San Agustin Metropolitan Cathedral is one of Cagayan de Oro's foremost recognizable buildings. From the scattered and few sources of history, we know that the first church built in the vicinity of Cagayan de Oro was located in Himologan or Huluga, a part of Taguanao, situated by the bank of the Cagayan River. It was built as a result of the toils of Fray Agustin de San Pedro, an Augustinian recollect in 1624. No one can say for sure, but it's assumed that it is also Fray Pedro who counseled Datu Salangsang, the local tribe chieftain, to move out of the ancient site and transfer to where the cathedral is now located. The transfer was due to the fact that it was easier to defend the new spot in the event of an enemy attack. There is no record as to what materials were used for the original church that was built there, but it is believed that it was made of wood, bamboo, and cogon grass.
The Higalay Festival, formerly known as Cagayan Festival. Cagayan de Oro City is a festival held each year in Cagayan de Oro, Philippines every 28th day of August, celebrating the feast day of Saint Augustine, patron saint of the city. The word Higalay comes from the Cebuano word Higala, friend, chum, pal, which was regarded from what the city of Cagayan de Oro is being tagged the city of friendship. Kaamulan Festival in Malaybalay, Bukidnon, derived from the Binukid word amul, meaning to gather. The Kaamulan Festival is the celebratory congregation of the Bukidnon province's 7 indigenous groups, namely the Bukidnon, Higaonon, Talaandig, Manobo, Matigsalug, Tigwahanon, and Umayamnon. The celebration started in 1974 during the town fiesta when local officials invited some tribes people to perform their cultural dances. What started as a small gathering has grown to one of the biggest festivals in Mindanao, drawing contingents from different municipalities across the province. Unlike other cultural festivals, which merely draw inspiration from indigenous arts and culture, the Lanzones Festival is a hallmark event in the Philippines and happens every October. With the abundance of arts, heritage, culture, food, natural wonders, and of course, its sweet Lanzones. Camiguin should have been the island to be at this time of the year. The Lanzones fruit is a major source of the Camiguin Islands' livelihood, and it is for the annual harvest that they celebrate this Thanksgiving Day. Houses, carriages, street poles, and even people are decorated with lanzones and lanzones leaves. Townsfolk dance in joy, abandoned in commemoration of the legend that a beautiful unknown maiden took from its former bitter flavor to leave only its luscious sweet taste. Famous festival in Misamis Oriental, Cuyamis Festival. This is the festival of the province Misamis Oriental that held every January 5 to 10. This Cuyamis is the original name of Misamis before the Spaniards colonized it. The highlights of the festival showcases of products and byproducts made out of coconut tree. It is a variety of sweet coconut which was staple food of the earliest known Negrito settlers of Misamis. Binalbal Festival. Binalbal is gotten from the local tongue balbal, which is Cebuano. It alludes to a heavenly family of weird-looking life forms, imps, witches, monsters, and any semblance of them, particularly like a monster Halloween ensemble party. The Binalbal Festival is an important cultural celebration where many revelers are clad in gory costumes. Since its initial beginnings, the festival customarily begins on the right until midnight of December 31st, known as the Masquerade Ball, and proceeds on the early afternoon of January 1st, which is the excellent parade of Binalbal Festival. Everything began as just wearing veils on New Year's Day to camouflage the character of a man. In the mid-1930s, conspicuous individuals of Tudela took an interest in this issue, including Gregoria Aborca, Sufronio Inting, Edmundo Ruiz Sr., Gregorio Nebre, and Florentino N. Olarte. Sagayan Festival, Cultural Dance of Lanao del Norte, a cultural event using as its base a Maranao dance performed during the Araw ng Lanao del Norte. Celebration participated by all the municipalities of the province. Sagayan depicts a war among the Maranaos. Datu Bantugan is the legendary hero of the Darangan Maranao epic. His name connotes brilliance, fame, and honor. One who makes history, the pride of Bumbaran, Maramanay, and Simban are among the several names attributed to Bantugan, which means crown of the Ayunana. The kingdom of Bumbaran was ruled by Ayunan sa Bumbaran, the elder brother of Paramata Bantugan and the sister Arcata Lawanan. Arcata Lawanan was abducted by Ayunan Dimasangkay, a ruler of Sagurongan, Aragat, and become captive of that kingdom. Dalit Festival, Dancing for Senior San Miguel. Dalit, which means to offer, is a festival that gives worship and thanksgiving to Saint Michael the Archangel. They sing, dance, and herald the Archangel's gift of abundance and protection. It is celebrated on his worldwide feast day every 29th of September. Aside from the religious procession of its tutelary patron, the street dancing and showdown competition is one of the most awaited events during the month-long fiesta. Indeed, it is at this time when Tangkubanons spark the city streets with colors and music that are joyfully larger than life. Imagine the jubilation as everyone shouts Viva Señor San Miguel. Perhaps one of the unique features of Dalit Festival is its free interpretation of praise to God through intercession of Senior San Miguel. Participants can openly lift their inspirations from ethnic as well as Hispanic heritage and express them in a captivating performance art.
Bukidnon's literature. The oral folk literature of Bukidnon are the following. First, Olaging, an ethno-epic about the adventures of Agu, the culture hero of Bukidnon. Second, Idangdang, the ballads or songs that tell stories. Third, Bayok-Bayok, the verses. Fourth, Antoka, the riddles. Fifth, Basahan or the proverbs or wise sayings. Sixth, Limbay, the lyric poem. Seventh, the Sala or the love song. Eighth, Nanangon, the folk tales. 9. Tutalanon, stories telling about the origins of things and names of places. 10th, the Sang, the debate in verses during the settling of the bride price. 11th, Kaligaon. This is the religious and ceremonial song that are sung during the Kalike rituals. This is divided into two parts. First is the pamamayok, sung by men, and second is the tabok, sung by women, while dancing the dugso. Their musical instruments are the pulala or the bamboo flute, salambing, the small agong, and the kudyapi, the guitar. Kamigin's literature. Manobo by Lydia Mary de Leon. Manobo or Manuvu means person or people. It may also have been originally Mansuba from man, person or people, and Suba, river, hence meaning river people. A third derivation is from Banobo, the name of a creek that presently flows to Pulangi River about 2 kilometers below Cotabato City. A fourth is from man, meaning first, aboriginal, and Tuvu, meaning growth. Manobo is the Hispanized form. The Manobo belong to the original stock of Proto-Philippine or Proto-Austronesian people who came from South China thousands of years ago, earlier than the Ifugao and other terrace-building peoples of the northern Luzon. Ethnolinguist Richard Atkins coined the term Proto-Manobo to designate this stock of aboriginal non-negritoid people of Mindanao. The first Manobo settlers lived in northern Mindanao, Camiguin, Cagayan, and some areas of Bukidnon and Misamis Oriental. Subgroups are Agusan Surigao, Ata, Bagobo, Banwaon, Blit, Bukidnon, Cotabato, which include the Aromanan, Kirintikan and Livunganan, Dibabawon, Higaonon, Ilianon, Kulamanan, Manuvo, Batigsalub, Raha Kabungsuan, Sarangani, Tiboli, Tagabawa, Tigwa, Ubo, Umayamnon, and Western Bukidnon. Manombo languages representative of these groups are Agusanon, Banwaon, Binukid of Mindanao, Cagayano of Cagayan-Silio Island, Cotabato Manobo, Dibabawon Manobo, Eastern Davao Manobo, Ilianon Manobo, Kidapawan, Kinamigin of Camiguin Island, Livunganan, Magahat, Sarangani Manobo, Southern Cotabato and Davao Manobo, Tasaday, Tagabawa, Tigwa Manobo, Ubo of the Mount Apo region in Davao, Western Bukidnon Manobo, and Western Cotabato Manobo. The Manobo have for their neighbors the Talaandig of Bukidnon, the Matigisalug of Middle Davao River area, the Atao or Jangan of the Midland area which is now within the jurisdiction of Davao City, the Tahavawa and Bilaan in the south and southeast, and the Ilianan along the Pulangi River basin. This was the site of part-tier dealings with the Muslim traders who traveled upriver into the hinterlands. Most Manobo inhabit the river valleys, hillsides, plateaus, and interiors of Agusan, Bukidnon, Cotabato, Davao, Misamis Oriental, and Surigao del Sur. The whole Manobo population numbers 250,000. The subgroup Manuvu inhabits a contiguous area along southern Bukidnon, northeastern Cotabato, and northwestern Davao. The Ilianon, Libunganon, Arumanan, and Kirintican are in northern Cotabato. The Tigwa or Tiguahanon are concentrated in Lindagay and scattered all over the town of San Fernando, Bukidnon, close to the border of Davao del Norte. Tigwa may have derived from Gua, or scattered, or the Tigwa River, whose banks they inhabit. The Umayamnon are scattered around the town of Cabalangsan, Bukidnon, and the interiors of Agusan del Sur. The western Bukidnon Manobo inhabit the southwestern quarter of Bukidnon province. The different Manobo languages belong to the Philippine subfamily of superfamily of languages called Austronesian, Malayo-Polynesian in the Old Literature. Some linguists of the Summer Institute of Linguistics have discovered that the Mindanao languages belong to a subgroup of Philippine languages, which they call the Proto-Manobo. The proto-language, however, has not yet been reconstructed or dated. Lanao's literature. Darangan, the epic of the Maranao. The Maranao is one of the 13 Muslim ethno-linguistic groups in the Philippines. The group is located in the two provinces of Lanao, Lanao del Sur and Lanao del Norte. Though their religion is Islam, the Maranaos have their own culture and tradition, which are distinct from the other Muslim ethno-linguistic groups. They have their own literature that includes Islamic stories, religious chants, folk songs, poems, and their noble epic called the Darangan, which serve as useful sources for understanding them. Thus, it is the key to the culture of the Maranao. The Darangan epic is one of the priceless traditions of the Maranao. It is an indigenous and pre-Islamic form of oral literature. Thus, on November 25, 2005, the United Nations Educational, Scientific, and Cultural Organization, or UNESCO, proclaimed the Darangan as one of the masterpieces of the oral heritage of humanity. Misamis Occidental's literature includes short stories like The Battle of Tagoloan, Dusk in Kapilyahan, The Cemetery Keeper, A Day in the Lives of Coal Miners by Regino L. Gonzalez Jr., and The Guman of Dumalinao, Sub Anon. The origin of Cagayan de Oro mentions Calambagohan as the old name of the city and Cagayhaan as the name of the Sultan's beautiful daughter, so revered for her beauty that even the river, which has since borne her name, had claimed her by taking her life away.